the Georgia Bulldogs are the defending national champions, but there's a few things that they didn't accomplish last year that are still on the table for them this season. Another special season for the Dogs. Some people didn't see it coming. I kind of saw it coming, that at least they would be in the mix for this thing, and they are at the top of the mix for the national championship right now. They look like the best team in the country. They are the best team in the country, and there's a few things that they could accomplish this year that they didn't last year, despite how special that year is. And I'll describe, everyone knows how special that last year was, but why I think it'll be hard to top, even if they accomplish the things that I'm about to list. I still think last year probably will feel a little bit more special, and that's I think that's kind of the ironic thing about how this might go. But I guess we'll all know how we'll feel if it actually happens. Riley Curley from Dog Post here, talking about what this Georgia team can do that last year's couldn't. Make sure you're going to the site. I wrote about this a little bit in Final Feelings, and we got our picks and everything on the site, dawgpost.com. Make sure you're checking out all the content. We can't give it to you all on here. Some of it's on the site. Kelee, Ringo-Signed DAWGSTRUCTIONs. I know you can at least see part of the book I've got on my shelf. We have a limited number of those. I don't know exactly how many. We have plenty right now, but as we get closer to Christmas, it's a phenomenal Christmas gift. We are going to run out of those a little bit, and there's other stuff signed by Kelee, some 16 by 20 prints of the interception. We have all different angles of it and things like that. So make sure you're checking that out. Links are down below. So last year, Georgia, you win the national championships the first time in 41 years. Right there, that's special. Right? Losing to Alabama in the SEC championship, and a team that you haven't been able to get over the hump for a few years with, really dating back to 2012 when you lost to Alabama in the SEC championship. Alabama's broke Georgia's hearts a few times in the 2010s. And then in, obviously, the 2021 SEC championship, Alabama wins again. And it's like, well, when is this going to change? Doesn't matter. Georgia gets in and they win the whole thing, and they beat Alabama in a dramatic fashion. Kelee Ringo. It's the reason why DAWGSTRUCTION exists. Kelee Ringo has the pick six that it's the game sealer. Georgia had the lead, and he sealed it with that defensive score. So it felt special, right? It hadn't been done in so long. They lost, and they avenged their loss. They triumphed over Alabama. It felt like there were a lot of special personalities on the team. Jordan Davis was a big deal. Nakobe Dean was a big deal. You have all these first-round picks from this team. It was an older team. Stetson Bennett, his story was a special part of it all. The quarterback carousel between him and JT Daniels. Zamir White and James Cook were not the most talented backs to come to Georgia, but guys, there were just so many leaders on the team. It just felt like a really, really special group, and it was their time to win. Well, this year they can do it again with the group they've got now. A lot of the guys from last year are back, notable guys. Some of them that didn't play that much, some of them have played a lot. Christopher Smith, Stetson Bennett, guys that played a lot. And then there's other guys that didn't play a lot that are a huge deal, like Smile Mondit and Jamon Dumas-Johnson. And then there's just freshmen like Malachi Starks and Michael Williams. It's the same sentiment with this group, and they can win an SEC championship, something that they didn't do last year. They can also finish 15-0. So those are two things. And there is a slight chance that Stetson Bennett makes it to New York as a Heisman finalist. Now, the Heisman is the least important of those three things. The SEC championship matters to Kirby Smart. I think that just based off the verbiage that he gives us on the SEC championship, I think that's his favorite sporting event to be a part of. He consistently talks about how great it is, how good a job the league does to put together that event. It's in Atlanta. It's in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. It's a great venue. But he is 1-3 as the Georgia head coach in SEC championships. This is round 5 for him in this game. They lost to Alabama twice. They lost to 2019 LSU, who beat everybody. And then they beat Auburn. So you've got to do it again. Winning the league matters a lot. And people that say this game, oh, well, Georgia's going to get it, doesn't matter that much. Well, it does matter. It matters to Kirby. It matters to these kids. I don't think that it'll be the same thing as last year where they kind of slept walk through this game. I think they'll probably destroy them. But there's a lot on the line for this Georgia team. And I always feel like the team with more on the line plays with a little bit more of an edge in a lot of cases, right? So there's teams throughout the country this year, or this weekend, like TCU has more to play for than Kansas State. You know what I mean? USC and Utah probably, USC has a little more to play for, but Utah has stuff to play for. But Michigan has way more to play for than Purdue. Georgia has more to play for. LSU losing to Texas A&M killed a lot of what they were playing for, which was a potential playoff berth. So this Georgia team has a national championship, a perfect season, SEC championship, all that to play for. So I don't want to hear about how, they're still going to get in even if they lose. I know they probably will get in if they lose. It feels like Georgia's a lock for the playoff, right? But you are also playing for a potential game in Atlanta. If you're the 1 seed and you're Georgia, you're going to choose to play in the Peach Bowl no matter who you're facing up against. And if you're facing up against the USC, who's on the West Coast, that 4 seed, playing in Atlanta is going to matter. It's going to be like a 75% Georgia crowd, maybe more. So Georgia's got a ton to play for on Saturday. You've an SEC championship. If Stetson Bennett balls out, he could be a Heisman finalist. That'd be a big deal. It'd be a huge deal. Now, I don't think he'll win the Heisman by any means. I think Caleb Williams will probably win the Heisman, but that's a huge deal. And then a perfect season. 15-0 is a hard thing to accomplish. Undefeated in any sport is a hard thing to accomplish. Football, there aren't as many games as like basketball or baseball, so I guess it's easier in football, right? But it's not easy. You're going up against a lot of talent every week. Whether it was, and it doesn't, you go up against the Kent States and the Sanfords and the Georgia Techs of the world, and those are your gimme games. But it's hard to sustain a level of greatness on a week in, week out basis. There's been 3 teams that have gone undefeated in the college football playoff era. 2 of them going 15-0. Actually, it was 3 years in a row: 18, 19, and 20. 18 Clemson, Trevor Lawrence freshman year. 19 LSU, the crazy season with Joe Burrow. 2020 Mac Jones, a great Alabama team. I believe it was 12-0 or 13-0 for them because of the COVID year, and there wasn't 15 total games. So Georgia will be the 4th team to go undefeated, the 3rd team to go 15-0, and it would be very special after losing all those guys and repeating as champions. Kirby Smart in this program are in the right direction, and there's a ton to play for on Saturday. Make sure you're checking out the site, dawgpost.com. There's more details over there. The link's down below for all those potential Christmas gifts that Kelee Ringo signed for you guys. See you there.